The Galactic Council had a simple solution for dealing with troublesome species: containment. Species deemed too violent, unpredictable, or disruptive were isolated from galactic society. Their representatives kept in specialized holding cells aboard the massive prison vessel Judgment *. Captain Jack Miller of Earth's Defense Force found himself in such a cell, captured during a diplomatic mission gone wrong. The tall, scarred human had been classified as dangerous after 3 guards ended up in the medical bay during his processing. Another primitive for the collection, the blue-skinned Warden Krell had sneered, tapping commands into his control panel. "Let's see how you fare with the Flame Brothers human." The transport beam had deposited Jack in a cavernous chamber with obsidian walls and pools of molten material bubbling along the perimeter. The cell was hot, uncomfortably so for most species, but Jack had endured worse in desert combat zones back on Earth. In the shadows, massive shapes stirred. Eyes glowed in the darkness, yellow, red, green, each pair larger than Jack's head. Dragons, or at least what the translator in Jack's head called dragons. The aliens had clearly thrown him to what they considered apex predators. "Fresh meat," rumbled a deep voice as a massive scaled creature emerged from the shadows. Its body was the size of a battle tank, covered in crimson scales with ridges of bone along its spine. "The blue ones think they're clever, sending us meals." 6 other dragons appeared, forming a circle around Jack. They were different colors and sizes, but all bore similar features: powerful limbs, long snouts filled with gleaming teeth, and eyes that burned with intelligence. Jack stood perfectly still. His file with Earth's military had been sealed for a reason. Before becoming a captain, he had been something else, something the Galactic Council couldn't possibly understand. "I'm not your meal," Jack said calmly. "I'm your cellmate." The largest dragon, a midnight black behemoth with eyes like twin suns, laughed. "Brave little thing, aren't you? I am Drath, elder of the Pyroclast clan. We ruled worlds when your kind were still swinging in trees. And now you're in a cell," Jack observed, "just like me." Drath's nostrils flared, releasing twin jets of smoke. "You mock our imprisonment? Do you know what we did to the last creature they sent us?" Jack's lips curved into a smile that never reached his eyes. "I'm more interested in what we're going to do to the ones who put us here." The dragons exchanged glances. "There is no escape," said a smaller green dragon. "The walls absorb energy. The guards never enter. We've been here for decades." Jack rolled up his sleeve, revealing a forearm covered in strange, shifting tattoos. They weren't decorative. They were military-grade nanotech, bonded to his cellular structure. "On Earth," Jack said quietly, "I was what they called a Reaper. Special forces for missions. No one talks about missions against things that shouldn't exist." The dragons watched as the tattoos on Jack's arm began to glow, pulsing with blue light. "Humans look weak," Jack continued, "but we evolved as persistence hunters. We don't give up. And some of us," the glow intensified, crawling up his neck and across his face, "some of us were made into weapons." The smallest dragon, a copper-scaled female, slithered closer. "What kind of weapon?" "The kind that kills gods," Jack replied. "The kind that hunts nightmares." Over the next few days, Jack and the dragons formed an unlikely alliance. The dragons had knowledge of the prison ship's systems but lacked the means to exploit them. Jack had the technology and skills, but needed the dragons' strength and fire. From the shadows of their cell, they watched. Jack's nanotech allowed him to sense the electrical systems beyond the walls, mapping the ship's layout. The dragons shared stories of other prisoners, other species with unique abilities. "Why do they call you Death Incarnate?" asked Drath one evening as they gathered around one of the heat pools. Jack's expression darkened. "There was a war. Not on Earth, but on one of our colonies. Something came through a tear in space. Ancient, hungry things. My team was sent to close the breach." "And did you?" asked the copper dragon. "I was the only one who came back," Jack said. "But the breach was sealed. The things on the other side, they called me Morath Kal in their language. It translates roughly to the end that walks. On the 7th day, their plan was ready. The prison operated on a cycle. Power were routed from certain systems at regular intervals to boost others. During one such interval, a 3-second window would open when the cell's energy-absorbing properties would reset. They think they've caged monsters, Jack told the dragons as they prepared. Let's show them what monsters can do when they work together. The moment came. Jack's nanotech surged, overloading as he pressed his palms against the wall. The dragons channeled their fire simultaneously at the same spot. For 3 precious seconds, the cell's defenses faltered. Alarms blared, the wall cracked. What followed was chaos. 7 dragons and 1 human tore through the prison ship like a force of nature. Guards fell back in terror as Jack moved like a shadow between the massive reptiles, his body glowing with unearthly light, weapons materializing from his nanotech. They reached the bridge in 18 minutes. Warden Krell cowered as Drath's massive head smashed through the reinforced door. Impossible, the alien whispered as Jack approached. You should have checked my file more carefully, Jack said, his eyes now glowing the same blue as his nanotech. Humans aren't just another violent species. We're the ones the monsters fear. 3 days later, a small fleet of Earth ships received a transmission from the Galactic Council vessel requesting diplomatic contact. When they arrived, they'd found the prison ship under new management. A coalition of former prisoners led by 7 dragons and a human who had become legend. The Galactic Council would learn an important lesson. Never cage what you don't understand. And never ever throw a human trained to hunt monsters in with creatures who could become his allies. After all, humans weren't predators or prey in the cosmic food chain. They were something far worse, adapters.